Welcome back to Dork Points, everybody. This is Ron, and welcome to a very special episode. It is the 10 best and the 10 worst of Ratalaika games. There are so many amazing and awful Ratalaika games that this should be a list that's 100 games long, and it probably could be. But we're going to start with the best, which is the least of the best, is Gravity Duck. And you saw all those schmancy-looking games there that I just played for you or showed you, and none of them are on this list. This is. Why? Because it's brilliant. It's also a torture test. Everybody says, easy platinum. This was not. This was a death simulator, and I made it. And if I can make it, you can make it, like I always say. But god damn, this game is punishment, 100%. Okay, 36 Fragments of Midnight. The next on the list, great game. This is my daughter's favorite Ratalaika game, or God, might be your favorite. She's almost platinumed it. The only thing she needs to do is beat the game in under 6 minutes, and you have to collect these diamonds. 36 diamonds in this torture maze. Oh my god. I am the hero! I am. Streets of Rage with a bigger screen. I don't understand why the framing of the game is so big. It should be a little tighter. Like, you do bouncing and air combos and stuff, and that's really cool, but it should be a little tighter on the characters. It looks really good, it sounds good, it plays good for the most part. Two-player or multiplayer is better. I loved playing this with Eric, and we had a great time, but again, by level 6-6, we just got stumped, and we were done. Alright, Neon Junctions is a game that I actually beat, and it is fun to play. It's a puzzle solver kind of game. I don't want to say Portal, but the point of the game is to get to a portal. So you have to move these blocks and create energy, I don't know, lines of energy that lead to the portal that power it up. It gets more and more complicated. It sounds stupid, and it probably looks stupid right now as you're seeing it, but it just gets insane, and it gets really good. This is one of those beautiful looking games, beautiful sounding games from Ratalaika. It's amazing. Syrup in the Ultimate Suite. This one is just a charmer. Just, you want to play this game. I bought this for my daughter. She didn't dig it. Well, there's a naked girl there, made of candy. She's a candy golem. She gets created accidentally by the person who owns the candy store. I don't know what to say about this. I bought it for my daughter, and then I ended up playing it. She gets clothes on eventually. It's not too rated R or anything, but yeah, she's made of candy, so people want her, and they want to figure out how she was made, so that's where the story goes. It's cool. Alright, Gastro Force is a boomer shooter from Ratalaika, of all things. Now again, Ratalaika is just the publisher of the games. Different companies make these games, and then Ratalaika picks them up. But this is a boomer shooter, and I mostly like it. I have to say, I really enjoyed it, except for the shooting is a little, I don't know, clippy, or what would you say? It's hard to get a bead on somebody sometimes when you're moving fast. And then when you move around corners, your character will get caught up on that. And then sometimes the screen, like as you're moving around corners and stuff, will start to shake. So and there's a screen shake option. So I took that option off, and still it kept happening where I would go around a corner and the whole screen would like shake. It was really weird, but great game. Alright, Don't Touch This Button, another great game from Ratalaika. It's more Portal than Neon Junctions. This one's all about disobeying the orders. So there is a green screen that says, don't touch this button, you touch the button. Every time you move into a new room, there's a screen, and it's telling you the opposite of what you should do. So that's your clue, basically, for solving the puzzle. But it gets harder and harder, and it gets fucking crazy, and it turns into Portal, basically, because the game is just, like, trying to kill you. and going insane. My daughter platinumed this. I just watched. It was amazing. Roll the Cat. I hate saying this, but I know it's not right, but it's Zen or chill or whatever you call it. It's a puzzle game. It's not like Tetris or Columns or anything, but it is a real puzzle game, and it is really hard, and it is really challenging, but it is also very relaxing and fun to play because you can hear that music in the background, and you're just rolling fat little cats on the floor to get them to their little cat beds. There's something about this game. As hard as it gets, I just enjoy it. I love to play it. It's super good. Check it out. All right, the pizza delivery boy who saved the world. We're getting down to the top 3. This is number 3. Great game. It's not an FMV. It's something else. Kind of like Sugar and the Ultimate Sweet. You get a couple dialogue choices, and those branch out, and it's cool. But the story itself, and the look of the game is I don't know. It's a turnoff, at least for me initially. But when I started playing it, the story just sucked me in. It's all, and spoilers, yeah, it's all about a time loop. And so at the beginning of the game, you start getting these texts from yourself, and you're like, why would I send a text to myself? But then as the game goes on, you're sending text to yourself in like a panic, like trying to reset the timeline. It's so cool, and the style of it really works for this, and if you just have the patience and you just play it and read every line and don't skip over everything, you will really enjoy it. Alright, numero dos, or dos? Pa. I love this game. It took a long time to fall in love with this game, but it's great. I've heard comparisons to other games. I love Dragon's Crown. It's Streets of Rage as well, or Zombie Vikings. It's hack and slash. You move through a level, and you just slash people up. It's super cute. All the characters are very cuddly looking, but also dark. It's like a game that was designed for kids, but then made for adults. It's bloody as hell. You just cut people's heads off and stuff. It's real fun. I don't know where it came from, but there you go. Alright, and the final good game of the night, Scheming Through the Zombie Apocalypse. This was a close one. I mean, I could say Pizza Boy or Pa, or this one for number 1. They were basically a tie. This one's really fun to play. It's got a bunch of great cartoon voices. I think the voice of Bender is in here. The voice of the dad from Venture Brothers is in this game. It looks good. Again, like Sugar and the Ultimate Sweet and the Pizza Guy Who Saved the World, it's a series of choices. So you're playing like this cartoon, and then you have to choose one of 2 choices. But it branches off so much compared to the other 2 games. This one really branches out. You can play this game 5 or 6 times and get different endings and get different things. And I did that. I played as much of this as I could because I really enjoyed it. It's about 2 drugged out losers, and the zombie apocalypse happens, and they're all animals for some reason, but 2 drugged out loser animal guys, and the zombie apocalypse happens, and then they con people into getting supplies for them. It just works out so great. I love it. Alright, and now I don't love this. You know what the fire means, boys and girls? It means I hate it. And now we're getting into the bad stuff. Yes, the worst, the 10 worst of Ratalaika, starting twin robots. Okay. There's nothing here beyond the fact that it's a body switching game, and that's why it sucks. Yeah, look at me. I pushed my other character down, and then switched bodies and to bring him up, and then I knocked my other character down. Body switching games suck. They are totally boring. I hope some of you understand what I'm saying. I just hate them. Alright, Dreaming Sarah. This one is interesting. It's really good. It starts off, and it's pretty boring. But just look at this. What's going on here? Okay, what is the problem then, you are asking? Well, the problem with this game is just like, you remember back in the day, and I'm old, so I don't know how you would relate to this, but back in the day, I would get like a Nintendo or an Atari game from like my cousin or a friend. I would borrow it and I would put it in, and there was no instruction manual, and you wouldn't know how to play it, and you'd be like, "Where am I going? What am I doing? How do I play this game?" And you would just be stuck on it forever. And that's what this is like. This is like plugging in an Atari game and just seeing two tanks spinning around, and you're like, how do I start the game? How do I do anything? That's what this is. This is the modern equivalent of that. You're just like, what do I do? I just keep walking around. What do I do? Alright, Thunderpaw. Thunderpaw is just blah. It's well done. You know where you're going. You know what you're doing. But the level design, why did they pick gray and black and brown? Like, it just looks good. And the game itself is totally boring. You just kind of shoot people, and your gun doesn't go long enough. It's just blah. Blah, blah, blah. Alright, now, actually, these games should probably be switched around, because blah is worse than what this is. And this is just insanity. Kind of like Dreaming Sarah, you're playing the game, and this is sped up, by the way, but you're playing the game, and you're like, what the hell is happening? You're just two bowls or cups, or what are you? And you're moving around, and you're shooting at a thing while you're collecting hearts. It doesn't make any sense, and that's what it is. Super Weekend Mode. Thank you, Ratalaika. Alright, Mecha Bolt, swinging completely backwards down the dial to total boredom again, just like Thunderpaw. This game is just, you've seen it before, you will see it again. There's no, and it's so much worse though, because there's absolutely nothing here to enjoy. It's like a shitty version of Gravity Duck, where it's like mini levels where you collect batteries and you have to move and you know, solve a simple puzzle, and then you get the battery and you move on. But all right, speaking of football game, now I played this all the way through, and I talked about it, and I had no way to say if it was good or bad, because it's just so fucking weird. It's like Twin Peaks, David Lynch kind of thing, but it's a weird 8-bit throwback. But this point, I started replaying it again for, you know, since the last time I did a Ratalaika video, and it's been a year or two, and I could not put the beer bottles in the trash can. I already beat this game. I am not looking up a walkthrough on how I put the beer bottles in trash cans, so fuck that! And fuck this game too. Sorry, I'm getting a little... Alright, back in 1995. What a good-looking, like, little poster there they have for the cover, and then what is it? It's a throwback to old PlayStation 1 horror games. I do like the little loading disc and stuff like that, but it's the worst of nostalgia. It's like gathering everything you hated about games back in the day and making a game about it. It's the opposite of what you want to do. Hey, remember all the stuff that sucked back in the 90s? I mean, I want to forget that. It's like, I still think about it. It's like, how did we get through it? And when you look at this, you understand. Like, it's just painful to think about playing a game like this again. Tank controls, super slow moving. When you wield your little weapon you have, it barely does anything. It's just garbage, unfortunately. Good concept, but just garbage. Yeah, look at me wield my little... And, oh, I'm dead. Yeah, that was back in 1995. Alright, Dr. Posse's Game of the Year 2023, Freddy Spaghetti. We're getting down to it, so I'm just going to say, yeah, just pieces of shit, just worthless games to play. It's supposed to be like I Am Bread, where you're a piece of spaghetti, and then they throw different things at you, like kicking a soccer ball, but the game's fucking broken. It's not totally broken, as you will see in the next one, but it sucks. Alright, Doggone Golfing. Speaking of totally broken, let's start the game. Everybody, let's start the game. Okay, there's the puck. Oh, it's not a golf ball, it's just a puck. Far left of the screen. You see that little puck dropping over and over again? That's the puck that you're supposed to hit. But where's your character? What's happening? What's going on? This is the main game. There are other little games that you can choose, but this is the main game, and it's totally fucked. Ratalaika, what are you doing? The game doesn't work at all. Alright, speaking of the minigames though, when you go and play the minigames, you can actually figure out how the game is played. And how the game is played totally fucking sucks. You have to pick a power number, but there's no clues, there's no indicators. You see that little trail of stuff I already hit? Why don't they have that before you hit it, to show you, like, what your power meter is and how it will land? Or just make it like Angry Birds or anything. This is fucking hell. Like, if there was a video game that punished you for eternity, and you had to play it forever, this would be it. Yep. So there we go, that was it. The top 10 best and the top 10 worst of Ratalaika. I hope you enjoyed that, and have a good night. Bye-bye!